Daichi could heal anything. Broken bones in seconds, deep wounds in minutes, illnesses that had defeated every other healer. Daichi solved them. He was 23 and already the most gifted healer the kingdom had ever produced. People traveled weeks to reach him. He turned nobody away. Worked from sunrise to long past midnight every single day. The kingdom called him a miracle. His colleagues called him selfless. And Daichi, smiling calm, always available, was slowly, quietly running out of everything he had. Because the one thing his ability could not touch was himself. And he had been broken for a very long time. Despite the smiles and gratitude of others, Daichi felt a quiet desperation growing within him. Each healed person left him with a piece of their pain, and he could not shake the feeling that he was losing himself in the process. Night after night, the weight of his unhealed wounds pressed down on him, festering like the deepest cuts he could mend for others. In the mirror, he saw not the miracle worker, but a man trapped in a cycle of selflessness, unable to face his own suffering. Nami had seen the signs before anyone else. The way Daichi's hands trembled ever so slightly when no one was looking, or how he rushed through meals as if they were merely an inconvenience. She had finally reached her breaking point that day. With fierce resolve, she told him he would not go in, refusing to let him slip away unnoticed into another day of endless giving. "You ignored your own needs for too long, Daichi," she had exclaimed, her voice steady. "This isn't just about them, it's about you." But as the words hung in the air, she could see the flicker of uncertainty in his eyes, a realization dawning that perhaps he was indeed lost. As they sat together in the quiet of the morning, Nami's voice softened, urging him to confront what he had long avoided. "You heal everyone, but who heals you?" she asked gently, her eyes searching his for a glimpse of self-awareness. The question struck Daichi like a thunderclap echoing in his mind where moments of doubt and denial had gathered over the years. He realized he had never truly connected with that part of himself so wrapped up in his role as a healer that he had neglected the broken pieces within. And in that moment of vulnerability, surrounded by the weight of his unspoken fears, Daichi faced the most profound truth of all. He had been ignoring his own healing for far too long. Sitting in the stillness, Daichi felt an unfamiliar sensation creeping into his chest. A flicker of hope that perhaps this forced pause could be the beginning of his own healing journey. It was as if layers of guilt and anxiety began to peel away, exposing a fragile yet resilient heart, yearning for recognition. "I've forgotten who I am outside of this," he finally admitted, his voice barely above a whisper, but powerful enough to shatter the silence. Nami nodded her gaze, unwavering understanding just how much it took for him to confront that truth. Together, they began to rewrite the narrative, one that didn't solely focus on giving, but also embraced the importance of receiving, allowing Daichi to reclaim his identity beyond the healer he had been for so long. With each passing moment, Daichi felt the weight of expectation lift, replaced by a sense of possibility. He stepped toward the window, the warm sunlight flooding the room, as if encouraging him to embrace this new chapter. Beside him, Nami's presence was a comforting reminder that he was not alone in this quest for self-discovery. Together they watched the world outside awaken, full of color and life, mirroring the transformation beginning within Daichi. With resolve in his heart, Daichi realized that healing wasn't just for others. It was about nurturing himself too, allowing space for joy, rest, and even dreams long forgotten. In that shared silence, a promise lingered. One of renewal, friendship, and the rediscovery of who Daichi was meant to be. Days turned into weeks, and Daichi found himself strolling through the park, relishing the simple act of walking without a destination. He noticed the vibrant colors of blooming flowers, and the laughter of children playing details he had overlooked before becoming consumed by his work. Sitting on a bench, he lost himself in books that spoke of adventure and wonder, rather than medicine, letting each word seep into his soul like sunlight warming the earth. It was liberating. These moments were solely his, undisturbed by obligations or expectations. With every page turned, Daichi felt more connected to life itself, discovering pieces of himself left behind in the chaos of duty and routine. It was here in these quiet reflections that he learned that true healing came not just from caring for others, but also from nurturing his own spirit. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Daichi found solace atop a grassy hill, the world bathed in the breathtaking colors of twilight. The warmth radiating from the setting sun mirrored the light blossoming within him. He was finally in tune with himself and the life around him. Beside him, Nami's laughter danced through the air, an infectious sound that reminded Daichi of the beauty found in shared moments. They didn't need to fill the silence with words. Their presence alone spoke volumes about the bond they had cultivated. It was no longer about healing others at the cost of his own happiness. It was about finding balance, allowing himself to receive joy and comfort. In that twilight, Daichi understood that embracing stillness and connection was just as essential as the art of healing he practiced, each influencing the other in profound ways. Back at the clinic, the young healer was surrounded by patients seeking his guidance, his heart swelling with compassion as he moved from one person to another. Each consultation felt like a mission, a calling that ignited a fire within him. But with every hour spent, that fire flickered precariously close to burning out. Daichi, standing just outside the bustling room, observed intently, recalling his own early days, filled with fervor and naivety. He saw the young healer's dedication, but sensed a shadow of stress creeping in, a familiar threat to those who cared too much without pause. It was a delicate balance between urgency and sustainability, and as Daichi watched the new healer's earnest attempts, he felt a protective urge rise within him, remembering the lesson he had once learned, one he hoped to pass on in time. One afternoon, Daichi made his way toward the young healer, his footsteps soft yet confident, bringing with him an air of tranquility that seemed to quiet the noise surrounding them. As they sat together at a small wooden table, the aroma of freshly brewed tea filled the air, a soothing backdrop for the conversation about to unfold. The young healer leaned in, eager to learn, but visibly anxious, his heart racing, as he prepared to hear the insights from one he admired greatly. Daichi's eyes sparkled with understanding, a gentle reminder of the burdens he had once shouldered himself. "Remember," he began, his voice steady and warm, "you are not alone in this journey. Sharing the weight makes it lighter." With every word, he aimed to instill not just knowledge, but the comfort of camaraderie, an invitation to navigate the path ahead side by side.